So I'm not sure if anyone else has noticed, but Julie and I have noticed that lately it seems like the energy around the planet, around us, has changed a little bit.
And it's also varying and flexing all over the place.
And it's not related to, Mercury being in retrograde or the
Or the
alignment
shadow.
of the stars or anything. Not that that doesn't have an impact on the earth, but this is something different than that. I'm not ridiculing that. I'm saying there's something different. I mean, I can speak about just in my own house that there's a lot of construction going on all around me. And with that, it's like shaking up the ground. And, the earth is made up of layers of rock and sediment, which all holds history within it.
Tectonic plates.
And it's moving it. And I just, and if you look at the energy of the world, we look at the Me Too movement and we look at, it seems like a lot of the established industries are kind of disintegrating, and that's scary for a lot of people because it's uncertainty. The TV and movie industry's changing, publishing's changing.
Things are all being shook up.
Right.
Yeah.
And people seem to be very nervous about it, yet there's a huge power within it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think is important to say, and you can elaborate on it because I know is that the way to navigate through that and come out on top is to really find out who you are and be in that space of who you are. And that means you have to let go of everything. And I think what's occurring, a lot of people who are in the space of just wanting status quo, they like being a part of everything, are grasping at straws, and things are slipping right through their hands.
And the interesting thing, too, is when there's uncertainty all around you, it's an expression of the uncertainty that's within you. So when you kind of streamline into that and pinpoint focus on yourself and who you are and what you're doing and how you're doing it and why you're doing it and where your passion is, it affects everything around.
And so what's fascinating is all hell is the idea of what does it mean for a lot of people? And you can look around, and that's why social media has come. Maybe social media came at this point because it's going to destroy all the old ideas of way things are. I mean, social media is becoming, everyone's going back to what's familiar, to old stuff, all these shows that are coming back, all these, people like to reminisce and all you see is old
the
photos
reboots of
things.
Roseanne, the
It's
reboots
like, come on.
of Murphy Brown, the reboots of remakes of movies.
And something, and it's such a situation where I'm going to say things are falling apart. And that is not like, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. It's, what, the old way of looking at things and understanding things is changing. And it's time. And, I look at the kids today and it's like, you guys, you're the... you're on that cusp, and you have to kind of take a step aside from what everybody else is saying and really go into the space of who you are, because that is what's going to survive. And if you're living on false pretenses, it's just not going to work.
And as you said, it's a precipice point to leap off into, uncertainty, which you have to trust. You have to trust something. So what do you trust? And who do you trust? Who better can you trust than yourself?
Well, right. Because the only person that you can't lie to, or really can't lie to you, is yourself.
And so now's the time to be clear about what your intuition is telling you, to listen to your intuition, to be clear in that space of your intuition.
And it's time to let go of all the old stories. It's time to let go of who people have told you that you are. It's time to really embrace who you are and move in the space with clarity and confidence. And if you don't have it, and if people laugh at you and people are questioning you, guess what? I'm telling you that it's okay. It's the only answer. And in time, you will learn that for yourself.
And in doing that, it's time to let go of everybody else's stories and what they want you to propagate and what they want you to continue for them and what they want to keep running that you don't have to be a part of.
And what's going to end up happening is when you embrace more of who you are, you can start to really, when you have compassion for yourself and you're comfortable with yourself, you actually become comfortable with everybody else and have compassion for anyone else. And there's no idea of racism. There's no idea of bigotry. There's no idea of bullying. There's no idea of any of that, because you actually, when you can embrace who you are with all your imperfections, then you can embrace who everybody else is. And really, at the end of the day, here's the prediction. What's today? April 19th, 2018. Mark my words. Things are going to change. And you know something? The only way to get through it is to really embrace who you are and move in that space. Otherwise, everything else, you're going to feel like the world is falling apart. And in essence, it is.
And the funny thing, where else can you be comfortable but, in who you are?
So,
and let that go into your environment. And the more comfortable you are with who you are and express that and be the model for that, that bleeds right into your environment, creating a comfortable environment around you. Why wouldn't it?
And there are people out there that are doing the same thing. And something, all I can do is I see it. I can feel it. And I know that people can feel it. People feel it. You know it. You know it's in your heart, and you're like, what's going on? And that's when people say, what's going on in the world, and with all the horrible shootings and the terrorism and all of that, there comes a different point, and you have to kind of move from that space. So with that said, it's time to hang up the hat, all the different hats you've worn, and just be you.
Get a different hairstyle.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.